MobLand Season 2's Richie replacement is far more terrifying for the Harrigans. What if I told you? Richie Stevenson, the cold-blooded killer who decimated entire families without blinking, wasn't the real threat in MobLand? What if I told you? The most terrifying enemy the Harrigans will ever face is only now stepping into the shadows. And what if I told you? This enemy doesn't need guns, gangs, or blood to destroy you. She only needs your name. Richie is dead. But the real war is just beginning. The woman replacing him doesn't need revenge. She needs domination. This isn't a gangland feud anymore, it's a global execution plan, and the Harrigans are already caught in it. Stay with me, because once you hear the truth behind Kat McAllister, you'll realize Richie Stevenson was just a warm-up. And the secrets about what's coming next, they were never meant to leave the room. MobLand was never about drugs, guns, or even power. Not really. That was the distraction, the illusion. While Richie Stevenson played mob boss in the open, Kat McAllister was orchestrating chaos in the dark. But first, let's talk about why Richie had to die. You see, Richie wasn't weak. He was vicious, calculated, cold. He had spies in the Harrigan family. He watched from the shadows as his enemies tore each other apart, and he nearly won. Nearly. But the creators of MobLand knew something the characters didn't. The London gang war was already stale. Another angry mobster chasing revenge? Predictable? Another son killed? Another empire built on blood? We've seen it. So Richie's story had to end. But his death wasn't just a plot twist, it was an opening. Because the real game was never in London, it was global, and Kat McAllister, she doesn't play for turf, she plays for kingdoms. Now let's talk about Kat, or rather, let's talk about what no one knows about her. Who is she? A ghost? No past? No confirmed records? No photos before MobLand. Some say she's ex-MI6, others claim she runs a cartel in Mexico. But the truth? No one knows what Kat McAllister wants, because no one has ever lived long enough to find out. That's not fiction, that's fear. And fear is the currency she trades in. Even Harry D'Souza, MobLand's most unkillable fixer, trembled when she called. Kevin Harrigan begged him not to answer. Conrad nearly lost control. And when Harry refused Kat's deal, he didn't just say no to a criminal, he declared war on a phantom empire. But here's the part the creators won't say out loud. Here's the part that rewrites everything about Season 1. Kat McAllister has been watching since the beginning. She knew about Richie. She knew about O'Hara Delaney, the rat inside the Harrigans. She knew Harry would go rogue. She even knew Seraphina would be taken, because she let it happen. Every death in Season 1, a setup. Every twist in the gang war, a rehearsal. And now, the real show begins. Subscribe now, yes, right now, because the secrets coming next are not just storylines. They are forbidden truths the creators hoped you'd never connect, and you're going to want to be here before this video disappears. Here's what no one is telling you. Kat McAllister isn't a villain. She's a reset button. She doesn't want the Harrigans gone because of a grudge. She wants them gone because they're obsolete. She's building something bigger, something invisible. Forget gang wars. Forget revenge. Kat is working on a consolidation of underworld power so vast, it crosses continents. And the Harrigans? They're a virus in her system. What makes her terrifying isn't what she does, it's what she knows. She doesn't need to torture, she doesn't need to bribe. She already has your secrets, your location, your debts, your family's names, and when she calls them, they won't even know they've been recruited. This isn't just fiction. This is a blueprint. Here's one forbidden fact. Kat McAllister once made Jamie Lopez, a cartel boss, so brutal he buried rivals alive, surrender his prisoners and betray Richie. No threats, no blood, just a whisper with enough weight to erase a man's entire empire. And now, she wants London. She wants the gun trade. She wants every ounce of blood money flowing through the Harrigan vaults. But more than anything, she wants Harry D'Souza's loyalty. Why? Because Harry holds the one thing she can't buy, steal, or manipulate. The code, the last moral compass in a burning world, that makes him the biggest threat, and the top target. And the deeper you look into Kat's network, the more terrifying it becomes. There's evidence, yes, real clues, buried in the show that she's part of something far darker. An invisible economy, a pipeline of crime that stretches from Hong Kong to Istanbul, funded by weapons, enforced by silence, and backed by governments that don't want her exposed. The Harrigans think they've survived the worst, but in reality, they've just entered the lion's mouth. They thought Richie Stevenson was untouchable. They thought the war ended with his fall. But Kat McAllister doesn't fight wars. She erases history and rewrites it in her name. Do you remember the look on Kevin Harrigan's face when Harry said he called her? That wasn't fear. That was resignation. Because Kevin knows something we don't. He's seen what happens when Kat gets involved. Let me tell you what that means. Kat doesn't just want the Harrigans dead. She wants their legacy erased. Not just bloodline, but memory. No headlines, no martyrs, just silence, as if they never existed at all. This isn't revenge, it's obliteration, and Harry D'Souza may be the only thing standing in her way. But here's the trap. Harry already owes her. He made a deal to save Seraphina. A desperate move, a necessary sin. And Kat? She doesn't forget debts. Now she's calling it in. And the price? Betrayal. She wants him to dismantle the Harrigans from within, to hand her the empire they built, to kill the only family he's ever truly had. He said no. But saying no to Kat McAllister is like saying no to gravity. It won't stop her. She smiled. She whispered, "That was your first mistake." And then she vanished. No threats, no army, just silence. Because Kat knows what's coming, doesn't need noise, she's already moved the pieces, and the board is burning. Now let me show you something chilling, something the show never explicitly said, but quietly implied. You remember O'Hara Delaney, the rat inside the Harrigans crew, the one who fed Richie inside information? He wasn't working for Richie, he was working for Kat. Yes, Richie thought he had control, but Kat was playing both sides. She gave Richie the information just enough to escalate the war. She let the violence grow. Because chaos is a currency, and Kat McAllister is the richest woman in crime. Every bullet fired in Season 1, calculated, every betrayal, pre-written. O'Hara wasn't a traitor, he was a planted mechanism, a tool. Used to stretch the war long enough for Kat's real plan to unfold. What's the plan? To wipe out every major supplier in London, to vacuum the chaos, and take control of everything. The drugs, the guns, the ports, the people. Now here's where it gets darker. There's one coded scene. Episode 9, 42 minutes in. Kat is seen looking out over the Thames, but the skyline, it's not London, it's Hong Kong. Blink and you'll miss it. Why would the producers show that? Unless they were telling you something? Kat isn't just targeting London, she's coordinating a transnational takeover. This isn't a local crime war, it's a synchronized global restructuring. And the Harrigans, they're just the first test. Harry, caught between loyalty and survival, has no good options left, and Kat knows it. But what if I told you? Kat McAllister already owns someone inside the Harrigans, someone they trust, someone who hasn't revealed their true face. Think about it, why were the Harrigans always one step behind in Season 1? Why did Richie always have a lead, even after O'Hara was exposed? Because there's another rat, still breathing, still watching. And here's what makes Kat so terrifying. She doesn't expose her agents. She lets them rot the tree from the inside. By the time the Harrigans realize who the real traitor is, it will be too late. The family tree will be ash. This isn't just paranoia, this is Kat's method. She doesn't pull triggers, she pulls strings and lets you destroy yourself. There's a line in episode 10. Kevin whispers to Harry, "This is how we all get fucked." He wasn't talking about Kat's threats, he was talking about her strategy. Because Kat doesn't fight enemies, she turns them into pawns. And when they've served their purpose, Harry D'Souza is about to face the most impossible decision of his life. Protect the Harrigans and die with them. Or help Kat and become the thing he's always fought against. And here's the twist no one expects. Kat doesn't need Harry to say yes. She already has a plan B, and a plan C, and a plan D. Each of them more devastating than the last. But Harry, he's the wild card. The ghost with a code. The one man Kat can't predict. That's why she wants him alive. Not to kill, but to convert. Because if Harry joins her, the game ends. Not with a bang, but with obedience. And if he doesn't, she'll break him. From the inside out. Let me ask you something. Why is Kat McAllister untouchable? Not just feared, not just dangerous, untouchable. Because she's not part of the underworld. She built it. Brick by brick. Using ghosts like Harry. She doesn't fight for control, she sells control. And here's the part no one's ready for. Kat isn't working alone. She's part of a network so deeply buried it doesn't exist on paper. No digital trace, no names, only symbols. And the deeper you look, the colder it gets. In one blink and miss flashback from Season 1, a young woman, unnamed, walks past Richie's office. She's never addressed, never explained. That woman, she's shown again, just behind Kat during the final scene of episode 10. Same coat, same silver ring, no dialogue. That ring? It's the mark of Ordo Lux, a black market syndicate rumored to operate across 5 continents. Drug routes, weapons labs, cyber blackmail, even political assassinations. If Kat is part of Ordo Lux, and all clues point to yes, then the war in MobLand is no longer just criminal, it's philosophical. The Harrigans are legacy. Blood, family, pride. Kat is evolution, structure, systems, control without loyalty. She doesn't need armies. She has infrastructure. Do you know what that means? She doesn't have to kill the Harrigans. She can make the world forget they ever existed. No bank accounts. No property records. No digital fingerprints. Gone. Like smoke. Here's the prophecy no one said out loud. By the end of Season 2, at least 2 Harrigans will fall. Not in a blaze of glory, but in silence. Quiet. Surgical. Forgotten. The show's silence is the warning. Every character who crosses Kat doesn't die dramatically. They vanish. Just like Richie. Think about that. The most brutal mobster in South London didn't get a final war cry. He got erased. No fanfare, no legacy, just gone. And now, Kat's got her eyes set on Seraphina. Why her? Because Seraphina isn't just a daughter. She's the Harrigans' future. Kill her and the tree stops growing. But Kat won't kill her. She'll recruit her. And if Seraphina breaks, if she joins Kat, the Harrigans will die from within. Harry once said, loyalty is the only currency that matters. But Kat, she operates on a different economy. Debt. She doesn't need you to love her. She just needs you to owe her. And now, everyone in MobLand is in debt. Kevin owes her silence, Harry owes her a life, Conrad owes her protection, and Seraphina, she owes her freedom. Kat's net is tightening, and here's the final secret. She doesn't plan to kill the Harrigans. She plans to buy them. Every asset, every name, every soul. And once she owns them, she'll let them rot inside their own empire. Living, breathing, owned. That's worse than death. Here's what MobLand Season 2 is setting up, if you know where to look. Kat McAllister is preparing a hostile takeover of all major European criminal factions. The Italians, already in talks. The Russians, blackmailed. The Albanians, bribed. The Harrigans, they're the last obstacle. Not because they're strong, but because they're sentimental. They still believe in family. And Kat, she believes in efficiency. The final scene of Season 2, mark this prediction, won't be a shootout. It will be Harry standing at a table, an offer in front of him, a gun in one hand, a pen in the other, and he'll have to choose, betray the Harrigans or bury them. Either way, Kat wins, because she doesn't fight fair. She doesn't fight at all. She waits, and when the time comes, she collects. Now ask yourself, why are the creators hiding so much about Kat McAllister? Why the silence? Why the subtle clues? Why the misdirection? Because Kat isn't just a character, she's a message, a warning. In every system, there's a ghost, a force behind the curtain, unseen, untouchable. You can't shoot it, you can't arrest it, you can't reason with it. All you can do is obey. And that is what makes Kat McAllister the most terrifying villain MobLand has ever seen. Richie killed with bullets, Kat kills with silence, and by the time the Harrigans realize what she truly is, it will already be over